Hello everybody, Sam and Chad here, back again with another Game Maker tutorial. In this episode, we're going to make an enemy spawner, so it's not just the one enemy, and this thing can go on forever. The first thing that we're going to need is, instead of a sprite, just an object. Now, we don't want to be able to see the thing that's managing how our enemies spawn. We just want it to be invisible. Now, we could make it a sprite and then uncheck visible, which means that we can see it when we're putting it in the room, but not when we're playing the game. But it doesn't really matter because since it doesn't have a sprite, it's not visible in the game. So I'm going to name this obj underscore enemy generator. We're going to use the same principle that we used when we were making the enemy automatically spawn the bullets, except this time we're going to make it a little bit random. So we're going to add event create, and we're going to take our alarm, and once again in alarm 0, and I'm actually going to set the number of steps to random underscore range. I'm going to say 10 to 20. So what is this right here? This is an expression that instead of just putting a number like 10 or 15, it's actually going to put any number that is within the range of 10 and 20. So random underscore range, and then in parentheses the minimum number and the maximum number, separated by a comma. So any number between, I'm going to say 10 and 20 in alarm 0. So now when the alarm 0 goes off after any number of steps between 10 and 20, we're going to make it spawn an enemy, and we're going to make it the object enemy 1. Now we don't want it to spawn at the generator's position, but rather the room position of y equals 0, so it's going to spawn at the very top of the screen, and the x is actually going to be random underscore range 0 comma room width. And now this seems even more confusing. Well, it's the same expression. It's going to choose for the x value any random number between 0, the left side of the screen, and the width of the room, which is how large the room is. Basically going to be the very right side of the room. So it's just going to choose any x value between 0 and the width of the room on the right side. So it'll spawn anywhere. You don't know where it's going to happen next. So let's just check OK. Now we want to spawn another enemy. We don't want this alarm just to go off once. So we're going to set the alarm 0 again for another random underscore range, and you can set this value to whatever you want. I'm going to space this out a little bit more, so I'm going to make this any number between 20 and 25. Sorry, 25. And close that off with parentheses. So I'm just going to check OK, and let's go into our room and put this object in. In the Objects tab, I'm going to select the obj enemy generator, which is actually invisible here, and I'm going to put it somewhere. Now you're going to see this teeny little question mark thing. In our game, we're not going to see this, so I'm just going to press the check mark, and we're going to watch the code run. Alright, now you can see that after a random interval, and this is probably too much, but after random intervals, it'll spawn an enemy at a random position between here, 0, and the room width, all the way over here. Now this probably wasn't a good idea to make them spawn so fast, so in the enemy generator, I'm going to make it so when it's resetting itself, I want the first enemy to spawn fairly quickly, so I'm going to do between 10 and 20 steps. Press OK. But when it's calling itself again, I'm going to make this actually 30 to 60 steps. And 1 second is 30 steps because our speed is 30 in the room. Right here. Anyway, that should be good. 30 to 45, that seems reasonable. Or sorry, 30 to 60 seems reasonable. There we go, that's good. That should do it for this episode. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. We'd love to help out. In the next episode, we're going to shoot the enemies and make them explode in a blazing ball of glory. Thanks for watching.